Over the course of the South by Southwest convention, the Fallout TV show team sat down and did some interviews, one of them being with Den of Geek, whom I will link to in the description. Straight out of the gates, they asked executive producer Jonathan Nolan if he would like to finally clear the air on the misinterpretation by the community about his comments regarding the show basically being Fallout 5. You can immediately see his reaction as the interviewer asked the question. He is well aware that people have been taking a simple joke the wrong way. Anyone thinking logically would understand that a TV show wouldn't just be considered the next chapter in a game, and that following the show, we would immediately get Fallout 6 rather than 5. It just wouldn't make any sense at all. When asked the question, is this Fallout 5? Jonathan states, I think it would be very presumptuous for someone to assume that we'd reach the caliber of the games. He then went on to say, for us, as something to adapt, as a world that we can contribute to, just irresistible. It means you have all the benefit of the beautiful storytelling that Todd and the rest of the team has contributed to, but we also get to tell an original story within that world. They then went on to joke with someone saying,
I think we made Fallout 6.
I already know some fans are gonna take that joke way too serious. Jonathan then said, yeah, we know all about Fallout 5. We're not telling anyone. After this, the interviewer turned to Todd Howard and said, Todd, everything about Fallout 5, now, go. To which Todd responded, well, there were some things. I said don't do this, because we are gonna do that in Fallout 5. By the time Starfield was coming out, we heard that the Elder Scrolls 6 was finally at the stage of coming out of pre-production, with Todd at one point even saying he regretted announcing it so early when he did way back in 2018. Game studios usually like to have a few games going at once. Not necessarily in the sense of active development, but Bethesda most definitely has a ton of ideas and plans for Fallout 5 now that Starfield is pretty much out of the way, allowing them to more easily start thinking of ideas for Fallout 5, especially since they basically have all the plans set for the Elder Scrolls 6. With Todd saying that he didn't want certain things to be in the show because they plan to make it happen in the next game, it leads me to theorize about it being one of two possibilities, with there also being a ton of other options. I'm just throwing two out there. The first one is that Todd simply wanted a little idea, like a vault experiment the showrunners had planned, or a little side story to instead be in Fallout 5, so he told them not to go in that direction. Or he could have told them that he didn't want them to show a conclusion to this NCR versus Brotherhood war. Let it go on for the duration of the show, but when the game comes out, that's when we will let the player choose who shall be the victor. I think it makes perfect sense. Everyone has been begging for a New Vegas 2. The show takes place close to there, so who's to say the map won't be big enough to have areas of both in it. Of course, this will divide the Fallout community even further than it already is. My only reasoning for us getting our next game to be set in the West Coast and potentially in a New Vegas 2 type of setting is because it's what the fans have begged for years, although Bethesda should realize that Obsidian should be the ones to take on a task such as that. As well as, look at how the series has been moving. Slowly and slowly, game by game, and now show, we have been making our way back to the West Coast. I think it's finally time that Bethesda takes their shot at a game in that region, even if it isn't in the locale of New Vegas, because like I've said, that's a task for Obsidian, which who have said before they are open to making another game. So maybe it's just in Los Angeles. We finish up this Brotherhood versus NCR war once and for all, and then afterwards we help the remaining faction rebuild after all the dust has settled. I already know there are going to be people who are terrified, scared for their lives, bawling their eyes out that this will happen. And to that, since we have no direct say in it other than to simply just move on, vote with your wallets, and not buy into it until they give you what you want, I guess it's time to say goodbye. Why hold on to hope if you've been miserable for over roughly 9 years with something? Couldn't be me. I'm not a game developer and definitely not smart, so go ahead and tell me how wrong I am in the comments. Tell me that there will be a glorious day where change will finally come and all will be right. The community will stop being miserable and at war with each other, and we will finally have the magnum opus we truly desire. I'd love to see it happen. Trust me. But I think it's undeniable, love or hate the company that produces your favorite franchise, that the series is pushing itself back to the West Coast for an inevitable game entry there again. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.